Hello and welcome back to the channel Help Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and if you want to continue seeing more. Coming up in this episode, Scotland announce England international in Edinburgh. Coote's season over prematurely, but is his World Cup? And is Brett Hodgson from making Ellis Longstaff's move permanent? We'll see what he says. So we begin today's episode with the news that Scotland will face England Knights as part of their World Cup warm-up schedule on Saturday, October the 8th in Edinburgh. It's Scotland's first confirmed fixture ahead of this year's tournament, where they face in Group B, Australia, Fiji and Italy. The clash will take place at Mearside Stadium in Edinburgh at 1:30 and will be the Scotland's first home match since the Bravehearts beat Serbia 86 points to 0 in 2019. Mearside is the home of rugby union side Watsonians RFC and is in the centre of Edinburgh. This fixture will see the men's side return to the capital city, having more recently played in Glasgow and Galashiels. Scotland's men's team's head coach Nathan Graham said having a pre-World Cup camp in Edinburgh before heading down to Newcastle gives the squad an extra 4 days together. There will be a few new faces in the mix, so it will give them a chance to integrate and make our group as tight-knit as ever. He went on to say, launching our World Cup campaign in Scotland will culminate in a warm-up game against England Knights. Without being able to have a meaningful mid-season international, I felt we needed a tough game to kick us off, and Paul Anderson's team will certainly provide that. It will give us the opportunity to go through some team stuff and try some different combinations, which will enable us to fine-tune our structure and get some cohesion going. It will be a tough task for the Scottish side, as these are people that are looking to be stars in Super League, as Scotland are preparing to go ahead for the World Cup, this World Cup, planning it year and year. The England Knights structure seems to be planning 4-6 years in advance. And England Knights coach Paul Anderson has confirmed his latest performance squad ahead of this year's international calendar. The Knights will also face a France B side in Bordeaux on Saturday, October the 1st, before heading to Edinburgh. Anderson has promoted 4 young talents from Super League to his squad. England have called up 4 new faces for their Knights squad, and Wakefield flyer Lewis Murphy has been named for the upcoming fixture this autumn, as well as Huddersfield forwards Owen Trout and Oliver Wilson, as well as Leeds Cameron Smith, who have been included for the 2 games. So with that, here is the England Knights squad in full, and there's a smattering of up and down the leagues. Every club more or less accounted for, apart from a couple. Even Featherstone have got representation in the squad. Jake Truman is expected to be fit to be involved in the England Knights squad, while Jack Broadbent since his move from Featherstone has done well, from Leeds has done well for Featherstone, so he will get his call up. Jez Litton and Mikey Lewis will be looking to create the partnership for the England Knights that they have at the Robins. 2 Saints youngsters, John Bennison and Jake Wingfield, are called up, but no place for Josh Sim. That's because Lewis Murphy has been called up, and then we have Warrington and Wigan having, as well as Leeds, the most players in the squad. There's a lot of creativity, a lot of Super League experience from this season, all being involved in this England team. It'll be interesting to see how they coexist after a long, grueling season. For these internationals, I'm wondering if they are looking at developing referees on the international stage and having referees from Czech Republic, Malta, Turkey, Balkan states, Italy, Spain having the referees, as we know that they're there, be involved in this these friendlies to develop their skills. It is an idea, because it is a B internationals teams that are playing with England Knights and the French team B, while Scotland Rugby League will be looking for a free-flowing game, and usually decisions get given a little bit less by developing referees. They'll be wanting to develop their attacking play, so why not give these international officials the chance to develop themselves and get some recognition for the hard work that they've done during their rugby league careers. We move into Super League now, as Lachlan Coote will play no further part this season after the Hull KR Stars suffered another concussion. The fullback went off in the closing stages of the defeat to St Helens and failed his HIA. As a result, it automatically rules him out of the final 2 games of the season, but given his track record and concussions, protocols mean he will be unavailable for the Hull derby on the final day of the regular season. It brings to an end a frustrating year for Coote, who has been restricted to just 17 appearances over the course of the first season at the club. He has, though, scored 9 tries and produced some influential performances when available, none more so than the victory over Hull FC over Easter. Coote has another knock which rules him out, says head coach Danny Maguire. Due to concussion protocols and everything surrounding it, he won't be available for the rest of the year now. We need to look after him and make sure that he's alright and comes through the other side. He's had 3 concussions this year, which rules him out from playing any further part. Frustrating for Lachlan. It's been a stop-start year and he's disappointed with that. He's been great around the boys, and his experience and work ethic, everything he brings, has really benefited for everyone. It's a shame he won't play in the back end of the year, but it means that he can have a strong pre-season, and when the new boss comes in, he'll hit the ground running. He's a big loss, and there's no getting away from that fact. He's a great player. His record and stats prove that. It's the way of the world in sport. We have players available at times, some unfortunately missing games, but it gives someone an opportunity to step in there and make a name for themselves. Maguire, who has said he would be surprised to see Coote play for Scotland in the World Cup, admitted the 32-year-old has been left downbeat after this week's news and decision. I think he's frustrated. He wants to play and realises that there's a fair bit of pressure on him at the club. For us all to succeed, he needs to be out on the field. When you're that type of player, you carry the type of pressure on you. So there's an element of frustration. He's not been able to do that. He's not able of doing what he's capable of doing. He wasn't badly concussed, it was just a knock, and it's more cumulative effect. I think the smart thing to do is to stand him down a little bit and see how he comes through it. There's the direction of the medical staff have decided to go with, and we always back the medical team, what the medical team decides. Health is always the most important thing. On the World Cup, Maguire's added he'd be surprised if Coote puts his hand up for Scotland. Lachlan is smart enough to know that he's not doing the smart thing, by going to Scotland. At the end of the day, we wouldn't stop anyone from playing for their country, because it's a matter to a lot of people, but I'd be very surprised, he said. That's something for Coote will decide for himself. Speak to the boss for next year, and the physios, and the medical team. It's not 100%, but it's something Coote needs to do for himself. Staying in the city of Hull, Brett Hodgson has praised Hull FC loanee Ellis Longstaff again after another strong performance. The on-loan Warrington Brat rower has scored 5 tries in 7 appearances so far for the club, but it's his overall effort and energy that has stood out. And still only 20 years old, Longstaff is looking the part in Hull colours. Naturally, given his age, some things have to be worked on, but Hodgson is delighted from what he's seen so far of the young man. Already a crowd favourite on the terrace, many Hull fans have noted the extra effort plays and are now hoping for Longstaff to make the loan move permanent. I really like what Ellis has given us, Hodgson said after the Wakefield game. I know he's still contracted to Warrington, and I said last week it's not as easy as saying we want him, so he's coming. There are a number of factors that need to be determined, but I do believe that there's plenty of potential, and he is going to have a long Super League career. Whether or not that is with us, time will tell. Meanwhile, the feeling seems to be reciprocated, as Longstaff seems to be loving his time at Hull FC, which naturally makes a permanent move more likely. Appreciating the opportunity at Hodgson's side, he said he has an excellent attitude and the club already feel home to him, as he revealed to Hull Live earlier in the month. He said, I feel like I've been at Hull for years, Longstaff said of the time at the club so far. The group is really tight, it's a really good set of coaches here and a good set of lads. For me, it's just taking it week by week and doing what I can for the team. I'm loving it here at Hull and with the boys. Meanwhile, the Hull FC coach, Brett Hodgson, has urged the supporters to stick by his team, stressing that it's always darkest before the dawn, quoting the Black Knight. Anyway, the Black and Whites are virtually out of the Super League playoff race with 3 rounds remaining, with a familiar collapse in the second half of the season to previous years. Friday's home reverse against Wakefield Trinity leaves Hull in 9th spot with only 2 wins from their last 11 games. It had leg comparisons with last year when Hodgson's men only won once of their final 10 matches, but the Australian is convinced that the club are heading in the right direction. We're definitely copping some hurt right now, Hodgson said, who has added Tector, Jake Truman and Liam Sutcliffe to the club squad for 2023. We're trying really hard to get ourselves out of it with our recruitment and the structures we are putting in place for next year. Obviously we want to win games. I'd be ridiculous to suggest otherwise. I understand that there's frustration amongst but sometimes it's really hard before you start moving forward. That's the phase we're in at the minute. We're trying our hardest as coaching staff and the playing group to make sure we come out of it. We've got 3 games to make sure we turn up and perform. Brett Hodgson, who has chopped and changed the team all day, forced through to injuries and suspension, lost 2 more players to serious injuries after Friday's game. One of which was Manu Ma'u, who is Catalans bound and for 2023, and has played his last club game for the club after breaking his arm, while another Joe Lovidua was left nursing a knee injury. Hodgson is hoping for a look change soon, and he says he dare to say Craig Bellamy, a Melbourne Storm coach, could have stood coaching here, and I don't know whether he would have got a result against Wakefield. He was without 12 first teamers for the start of Friday's game, so he's looking for a lot of hope and to get through this pain as quickly as possible before they start losing players and start gaining others for the 23 season. And that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share this video worldwide, as well as clicking that notification bell for any updates on new videos that may be coming your way. Tell me what your thoughts are of the episode in the comment section below. There's a lot to go through. Scotland's going back to Edinburgh. They've got to have a base in Scotland if they're going to be an actual national team. That's got to be a must. That's got to be a must for all teams, to be fair. I know Wales women are doing it, but I'm not sure about the Wales men. We'll have to see. Scotland and the officials part that I mentioned. Do you agree with me that they should integrate officials from around the world so that there's no perception of bias into refereeing games? Because we've seen it before where New Zealanders have been refereeing in the NRL but have refereed games between Australia and England. Everyone's going to suspect bias in that front, but no. I know they're professional. And Super League as well, you see it. There's a couple of coaches that, a couple of referees that have been part of academy setups at Super League clubs. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to share this video worldwide. But in the meantime, I'll end the episode by saying I wish you all the best. So please stay safe, and I'll see you in the next episode.